Welcome back to episode 5 of my Inside the Track series. I hope you enjoyed the other episodes so far. This time I want to talk about one of my favorite songs on the Hope EP called Brighter Days. It immediately became one of my favorite tunes on the record while writing and especially while producing the song. The production process of the song was just so much fun, and I can't wait to show you what I've done. The lyrics are about the inner conflict when you're feeling down and you're trying to lift yourself up so hard. You keep yourself busy, you lock yourself in a room, you desocialize, but somehow none of this would work. And you finally have to admit to yourself that you can be down just like everybody else. But here's the thing, once you accept that, I figured all the pieces slowly starting to fall into place again. Lows start to feel not as low anymore, and you can feel the energy coming back. So sometimes all you really have to do is to wait. Wait till it's over and just live this emotion to the fullest. Just wait for the brighter days and the lighter ways to come. Okay, now you know what this song is about, so let's jump into the computer and check out the production. Okay, here we are back in Logic. Welcome back. I wrote this song entirely on guitar and vocals, meaning that I just played along the chords, I came up with a melody and wrote the lyrics to it. My basic arrangement was guitar and vocals, and I just recorded this to a click. I decided for a tempo and just went for it. I slowly started to replace my guitar part, and the very first thing that I produced in this song was the beat. So I already had the vocals from the basic production. I always do a basic production with a very minimalistic kind of instrumentation. So I had the vocals and produced the beat to it. Brighter days to come, when for the lighter ways to go, when for the brighter days, many brighter days to come. And I remember that I'm waiting for the brighter day. And I remember the first thing that I found on Splice was this loop right here. So very kind of organic sounding. Brighter days to come, when for the lighter way. And I think I even recorded the whole basic arrangement along to this loop, but it ended up being in there only in the chorus sections. So I started with the densest part of the song, which obviously is the chorus, and tried to work my way backwards, kind of reverse engineer my arrangement in this case. Brighter days to come, when for the lighter ways to go. After that, I added kicks, I guess. Many brighter days to come. 2 layered kicks here. I'm waiting for the brighter days to come. Let's listen to solo for a sec. That's the main kick. Then I added another kick just to have a little more punch. And to get a little more sustain, I added a third kick. Then I added snare. This time a very rim clicky kind of snare. And altogether it sounded like this. Days to come, waiting for the lighter ways to go, and waiting for the brighter days, many brighter days to come, brighter days to come, waiting for the lighter ways to go, waiting for the brighter days, many brighter days to come. Cool. I'm waiting for the bright. So after that I tried to lay out the beat over the course of the entire song, and I didn't really change a lot. I added a clap here and there, and in the second chorus part, which I knew would be some kind of instrumental feature, I added some trap hi-hats. Check it out. The brighter days to come. And to make them a little more interesting, I just pitched them. So let's listen in solo for a sec. Take a look at this automation. I think it's much more interesting that way. And I already had this line in mind, like I was already singing along this line while recording the basic arrangement of only guitar and vocals. So what I did basically is I just played this line with guitar as soon as I find it. Here we go. So that was the next element then. So actually I worked my way from these 16 bars here, whole chorus section, and try to reverse engineer an arrangement from that. Next thing I added was bass.
I'm waiting for the brighter days to come, waiting for the lighter ways to go, waiting for the brighter days, many brighter days to come. I'm waiting for the brighter days to come, waiting for the...
Let's just talk about this bass for a sec. I took this technique from the wonderful Warren Hewart from Produce Like a Pro. Shoutouts to Warren if he ever sees that. He's a fantastic producer and a fantastic mixing engineer. And he is teaching the method to parallel process the bass in order to get a very solid low end and to just color the bass with parallel processing. So basically what I did is I put on a filter, like I put on a CLA bass as like the basic color of the bass, but then filtered out everything above 90 hertz. Then I copied this over, did the very same thing with a different shaped EQ, and at the end I added some distorted bass. And what I did with the low end of this bass sound, I serially compressed it with 2 compressors.
Waiting for the brighter days to come, waiting for the lighter ways to go, waiting for the brighter days.
So I have a very solid kind of low end, and that was the main goal behind this technique. Add the second. So that's a very solid bass sound, DI-ish. So I added my basic color, CLA, just to give it some grit. All together. And I think that sounds super interesting.
I'm waiting for the brighter days to come, waiting for the lighter ways to go, waiting for the brighter days.
And I wanted this bass to sound very kind of drony.
I'm waiting for the brighter days to come, waiting for the lighter ways to go.
Yep, like it.
I'm waiting for the brighter days, many brighter days to come.
Cool. And so I had that, and I thought something more rhythmic would be really nice. So I came up with these guitars right here. Check it out in solo. So the first guitar I added was this one. And I put it through a bunch of stuff. Again, I used THU, did a little bit of EQing here, a little bit of compression in the plugin here, compressed it even more so it would get into drip in a very nice level. Then I doubled the whole thing an octave above, check it out, and try to find a nice balance between the two of them. Kind of like the same processing as I did with the first guitar. And then I added another guitar right here with just a little rotor cabinet. A little wah. Yeah, you get the idea. So this is how it sounds with all the guitars.
I'm waiting for the brighter days to come, waiting for the lighter ways to go.
And I love this kind of funky feeling that.
I'm waiting for the brighter days to come, waiting for the lighter ways to go. I'm waiting for the brighter days, many brighter.
Here comes the second part of the chorus.
The brighter days to come.
So that's it. After the guitars, I thought it would be really nice to introduce a new element to the chorus section. And I know that I was playing around with a lot of key ideas But finally, I decided to add a very cool piano in the upper octave. Check it out. Here we go.
Brighter days to come.
I love that.
The brighter days, yeah.
And as I said, I was playing around with a lot of keys and went through a bunch of synths and tried to find something very cool that struck me. So somehow I stumbled across this sound and I just kept it in. Check it out. That just supported this kind of dreamy vibe.
The brighter days to come.
I liked it. Okay, so the only real sound that struck me besides piano was this synth right here. And I introduced it in the intro section. Kind of an organ.
I said I'm lonely too. I never felt like this before.
And this organ just plays the same thing I did with the guitar in my basic arrangement, so very basic chords. And I took them into the chorus section too. Sounded like this.
Brighter days to come. Waiting for the lighter ways to go. Waiting for the brighter days, many brighter days to come. I'm waiting for the brighter days to come. Waiting for the
I sidechained this organ just to give it some dynamic. Whenever the kick drum hits, the organ pushes back and slowly increases volume again. So we get this kind of... So we get this kind of cool dynamic in this part. I wanted to draw a very nice contrast between the verse section, the chorus, and the pre-chorus section. So I made a very drastic cut after the first verse and introduced the piano for the first time there.
But everybody's gotta be lonely sometimes. That doesn't mean you need to be lonely for life. I'm waiting for the brighter days to come.
So I really like this contrast because the piano actually kind of hugs the vocals and gives them a very nice space to live in. Of course, I needed to support all of that with some ear candy, so I guess I did a lot of vocal production at this point of the production. So as I said, I added some ear candy, did some drop FX for my vocals, like this one. Check it out.
Could not believe me when I said I'm lonely too. I never
Very subtle.
felt like
Very subtle.
I said I'm lonely too.
And also nothing too fancy. This is just like a reverse reverb that's opening up. So I think that's almost it. I added a bunch of background vocals as I always do to open up the chorus section. So I did octave above, octave below, same octave right here. So the whole chorus section jumps out a little more.
I'm waiting for the brighter days to come. Waiting for the lighter ways to go. Waiting for the brighter days, many brighter days to come. I'm waiting for the brighter days.
Yep, and as I said, some ear candy like this guitar reversed, piano reversed, sorry. This pitch down vocal. Stuff like that is always very pleasing to the ear. Okay, so after the first chorus, I broke it down a little bit, but kept the elements there more or less. And I featured the piano more because I wanted the piano to kind of hug the vocals from the sides and just let the vocals breathe in the best way possible. So I always loved this point of the arrangement when the second verse starts. Check it out. I think this is very emotional.
I changed the colors of the wall just to make the feeling go. Could not believe me when I said I'm lonely too. I'm putting all the things aside, but it doesn't make me feel alright. Could not believe me when I thought I'd be okay. I'm waiting for the brighter days to come. I'm waiting for the lighter ways to go. I'm waiting for the brighter.
Then again, I brought in some background vocals. Again, Jenny, Conrad, and Jeremy did an amazing job. They're the only guest musicians on this track. And that's basically it. I didn't really do much more in the second half of the song. Just tried to open it up a little bit, added some ad-libs, took away some parts, reintroduced them. So let's listen to the finish real quick.
I'm waiting for the brighter days to come. I'm waiting for the lighter ways to go. I'm waiting for the brighter days, many brighter days to come.
Tried to give the piano the same place as I did in the second verse. Playing these nice sixths in the left hand.
Brighter days to come.
Ad-lib right here, very powerful one to me. Ear candy with just a little delays. This is a very nice effect that the vocals all of a sudden get really, really dry at the end. So you kind of get the impression that the vocals actually come near to you. I love effects like that. It's always very surprising but pleasing to the ear at the same time. Alright, that's it. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you could take something for yourself. If you liked this episode, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on social media, or sign up to my email list. I truly appreciate you and all the support you show me. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in one of my next episodes. Take care. Ben out.